Baldy, it's BT and Sal. What's going on, bud?
Guys, Happy New Year. It's good to be with you. Things are, we're getting ready to wind things down and get ready for hopefully a good postseason.
Yeah, we are, and there'll be no postseason for us. And I at least want to start with that before we branch out a little bit here. Now, I've seen you, draw out schematically. I think you do a great job with the O-line, the good stuff, the bad stuff. And kind of a general question, so take it wherever you want. Both O-lines stink for the Jets and the Giants. They just don't have enough horses here. From what you've seen on film, is it just about the players, or is there bad O-line coaching? Like, I think we talk about coaching quarterbacks, but nobody talks about coaching the O-line. Do the Jets and the Giants have good O-line coaching?
I think Bobby Johnson's a good coach of the Giants. They lost two starters in the first week of the season. The rookie center and Andrew Thomas, and they never replaced either one of those guys. I mean, they had a bunch of guys playing center. None of them could play center. So it was kind of hard to put an offensive line together without a center. And then finally, John Michael Schmitz got back, and they played a little bit better up front. And for the Jets, they changed coaches this year. Carter's there. I mean, honestly, I don't know that they've played the same five guys 2 weeks in a row. I know they have, but, a lot of the guys are practice squad players. They're barely NFL quality. So it's been hard. They can't keep anybody healthy on the Jets every week. Tippmann goes in at right guard and gets hurt right away. Guy never missed a game at Wisconsin. Gets hurt at right guard right away. So it's just been tough. Laken Tomlinson's the only guy that's lined up and played left guard all year. Otherwise, it's just been a rotating group, and they never seem to be healthy. And it's hard to evaluate anybody when you get that kind of discontinuity.
Baldy, what would you do with the Jets next year? You agree with the move of running it back and bringing everybody back?
I'm a little torn. I'm a little torn. I can see why they would do it, and I can see why. Look, even if Aaron Rodgers comes back, and even if he gives you somehow a great season, you still need a quarterback. So do you kind of hope and pray that he can stay healthy for 17 weeks? We've seen how quarterbacks have dropped all year long and how few have stayed healthy. You hope and pray that he stays healthy for most or all of 17 games and make a postseason run. And then you go, okay, well, all right, he's 41. We're going to sit here and wait till he's 42, or we're going to – eventually you got to cut the cord and you got to find a quarterback. Zach Wilson's not the guy. So when do you want to start it? Do you want to start it this offseason, or do you want to start it maybe next year? To me, that's the decision.
See, I would do both. I would draft a quarterback, if there's somebody there that you like, and I don't care what Aaron Rodgers thinks or says. You're under contract. We traded for you. Your quarterback won. We've got to get a veteran in here, whether it's like a Tyrod Taylor or Jacoby Brissett, because you can't have the same backup situation you had this year. But I've got to find a bridge for the next 10 years. And if Aaron Rodgers has a problem with me taking a quarterback in the top 10, then Aaron Rodgers could retire. That's tough.
All right. No, fair enough. Except this, I think, it's early, but I think this is the best crop of offensive tackles to come out in a long time. There's probably, it's early, but I think you might get 4 taken in the top 10. And everybody's going to start talking about him, beginning next week.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pass on one of those guys that might become, I don't know, like a Pro Bowl anchor left tackle for a long time, Aaron Rodgers, it's only going to benefit Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. It's just you can't pass on these tackles. But if you're going to say you're going to go get the quarterback and pass on talent, and that's not going to make Aaron Rodgers or anybody else, happy. If you pass on one of these guys that becomes, just a great, Lane Johnson becomes Trent Williams, becomes one of these great offensive tackles in this business. Penei Sewell, you can only get these guys at the top.
BT and Sal on the Fan. We're talking about Brian Baldinger. Last one on the Jets from me, Baldy, the head coach. To me, look, he seems like a nice enough guy. The team is undisciplined. I think the defense has been overrated. There's not a modicum of any kind of hope with the offense with this guy. Again, nice guy, but I feel like the Jets could do a lot better with the head coach. What would you do as far as the head coach? We know the quarterback situation. What about the head coach?
Well, look, if you moved on, you've got a good reason to move on. The record, the undisciplined, the penalties even last week against Cleveland are just atrocious. What bothers me about Robert, honestly, there's different styles of coaching. But obviously, Parcells and Coughlin are at the top of the list, right? If a guy did something undisciplined on the field, they never walked off the field without a stare, without, being addressed right on the sideline. And what bothers me about Robert is he doesn't address that stuff. Like, maybe he does it in the locker room. Maybe he won't address a player on the field. But I want that player undressed. If he goes out and hurts the team with a bad penalty or a bad play or just a blown assignment, like, I want that thing addressed right away. I don't care what the cameras catch, what the players or what the coaches or what the fans say. Like, I want that taken care of, and I don't see that from Robert, and that bothers me about him.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody with the guts. We say it all the time. Yeah. Somebody with the guts to say it the way it is. Baldy, listen, he's a good guy. Everybody knows that he's a man of principle. He truly is a decent, good man. Yeah. But the guy that we thought we were getting, I thought I was getting some nutball who was running stairs and flexing and veins and turning red and screaming and yelling. The guy's the most docile coach I've ever seen. It's like he got the job and he changed personalities, and I don't understand why. It's not like he hasn't had an ample opportunity. I mean, they basically lead the league in penalties the last 2 months, so there's a chance to undress somebody whenever you want. And I'll tell you this. You said, well, maybe he's doing it behind closed doors. If he is, he's not doing it effectively because they keep making the same mistakes.
Look, it's 30 years ago, but I can still see Parcells' look. When I don't care if it was LT, who it was, Billy R jumping off sides. Like, you were getting the glare or you were getting undressed. It wasn't going to wait. It wasn't going to wait for the next series. I just think these things have to get fixed. Otherwise, like that, those kind of things when a head coach and you're getting the look, it means something. And it makes you think the next time before you jump off sides. It just, I don't know, you hold your water, you just don't do something stupid, an unnecessary push at the end of the play, whatever it is. Like, it has to get fixed right away. And I don't know, like, I watched that over and over again, and I'm going, what in the world are you waiting for? Like, this can't – it's only going to keep going on, and it just keeps going on.
There's got to be some kind of fear, if not just respect. I know they like him, but there's no fear. The guys keep on doing it. BT and Sal on the Fan, we're talking about Brian Baldinger. I lied. Before we move on to the Giants, Baldy, one more for you here. What do you think of the Jets defense? Because I've been saying I think it's overrated, and compared to the expectations that were put on them coming into the season, I thought they would be one of the best defenses. I don't think that they are. What do you think in your expertise of the Jets defense?
Well, I thought they were poorly put together this year. They need fat guys. They don't have any fat guys in the middle. You know, they had Al Woods, who was 36 years old. It was a hope and a prayer that he was going to be able to make it. Like, that would help both Quincy Williams and CJ, handle the run a lot better if they had some fat guys up front. And they don't have any. Like, they're too healthy looking. Like, they just have to – that part is – they're still a good – they're good deep, and they don't take the ball away enough. Like, they force some fumbles. I just think – they need more takeaways, and they need to be more stout in the middle of that defense.
Wow. That's kind of like...
Suck it, BT! Yeah. Baldy, I've been trying to tell him this defense is overrated for weeks. They stink.
It's good. Look, it's a good... Look, they're on the field way too much.
Oh, here you go. There's the context that I put. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. Don't stop now.
Look, I'll finish it. Look, they're on the field way too much. They're doing these quick turnarounds after turnovers way too often.
Yes.
And so the offense isn't helping them at all.
No.
And you just wonder, it's just a simple fact that you can't win if you don't score. And at some point, I played with the Philadelphia when they had the best defense in the league. And some days their offense was horrible. And you just, you felt bad for the defense. Like, they just can't shut teams out and keep them to 10 points or single-digit scores and think you're going to win these games on Sunday.
That's true. We're talking to Brian Baldinger. Insider Call is brought to you by Old Spice, Gentleman's Blend Body Wash, providing exfoliation plus 24/7 moisturization because men have skin too. The Giants here, last year, fans galvanized, playoffs, playoff road win. Coach, GM, quarterback renaissance here. Everything different this year, but they're still fighting. And they're still playing with pride, and they're still playing with purpose. Like, legitimately speaking, like, the Giants, to me, are a draft away, and you probably say this about a lot of teams, but a real draft away from being probably pretty good for a long time. The problem is that division, I know Philly's got some issues now, but that division's tough, man. Like, what do the Giants need to do to swim with the big boys for the next couple of years?
Well, what are you going to do at quarterback? I mean, are you comfortable with Daniel Jones? being the guy.
Just for next year, and that's it. What about you, more importantly? What do you think?
Like, 2 of the last 3 years, he hasn't finished the season.
Yep.
So, I mean, at some point, there's an old saying, I'm not putting Daniel Jones necessarily in his company, but fat guys stay fat, dumb guys stay dumb, and injured guys stay injured. That's just an old scouting thing that we would say. But there's some truth to that. Like, these injuries, like, he runs a lot, and, he kind of gets applauded when he does, but, these injuries, like, they compound themselves. So, okay, you get another year out of him because of the contract, all right. But, one thing you have in Philly and in Dallas is you have stability at that position. And, you can debate where Dak is in the pecking order or Jalen Hurts, whatever, but they have stability. They line up to play every Sunday. So, that's their teams are built around their personalities, their leadership abilities, and their skills. And you can't say that about the Giants right now. And they have to get that position fixed. I do think that they have a lot of things going for them. Last week against the Rams, they easily could have won that game. And that's a good football team, a team that will probably win at least a playoff game. And they made life tough for Matt Stafford last week. And so there's a lot of things to like about the Giants. But, there was a stretch where the offensive line was just a mess. They couldn't keep anybody healthy. They couldn't run an offense. And if they could get that fixed, I mean, you look at the Giant teams that have won Super Bowls, you could always go back. I mean, I can still see Billy Ard or Sean O'Hara. Like, I could see the guys that just lined up every week for them. And I would like to get at least that kind of continuity back on the offensive lines where you could, no matter who's playing quarterback or at receiver, like you have a chance to run an offense right now. And it's been tough to do that.
For me, with the Giants, I'm with you, Baldy. BT and Sal on the fan, we're talking about Brian Baldinger. It's all about the quarterback, and really it goes from there. Look, they need more talent. It's going to take a while to get that, but I believe that they're in good hands here with Shane and Dable. You mentioned the Rams. Yeah. I want to go around the league a little bit if we can. Dude, sure. Is there a better blocking team than the Rams? And for me, it would make them legitimate. Look, I didn't think the Rams were going to be any good. I feel like most people. But you have to believe what you're seeing. They've been good. I know they struggled against the Giants, but, man, they block so well. Stafford's been playing well. They obviously have some skill position players. They're well coached. Can the Rams make a run in the NFC?
Yeah, because they got a great coach, and they fixed the offensive line. Steve Avila came in second round TCU, nailed down the left guard spot. Tyron Williams right now leads the National Football League in rushing yards per game, 95 yards a game. Leads the league. Like, he is a great back. Great. You saw it on Sunday. He's a great back. And then Stafford, you watch him. He's under center a lot. I like my quarterback under center. I like play action. I like short yardage with my quarterback under center. And so they've done a lot of play action. Obviously, Puka Nacua has been just an absolute star. You saw him last week go 80. And so they've got weapons. And then defensively, they start 3 rookies on defense, and they're not rookies anymore. Byron Young, you watched them. Kobe Turner. Like, these guys are really turning the corner in their abilities. So they drafted well. I think they could be a very dangerous team in the postseason. And
the reason I bring them up all day, I know they're not sexy, and people are probably like, well, Rams, why the hell are you talking about them? Well, rule out the NFC South. I mean, nobody there is really any good. In the North, I know the Packers are coming on, and the Lions are tough, sure. East, we've seen issues with the Cowboys and the Eagles. Outside of the Niners, I feel like it's wide open. And the more I watch this Rams team, the more I believe in them. That's why I would bring them up there as being a live dog, maybe, in the NFC outside of the Niners.
Well, they won 6 out of the last 7, and the game they lost was in Baltimore in overtime on a punt return for a touchdown. Like, they took Baltimore to the brink in Baltimore. And I haven't seen anybody, like, throw the ball against the Ravens the way the Rams did. And so, to me, that was the litmus test. They play San Francisco on Sunday. Like, I don't know who's playing, who's not playing. But, regardless, like, that would be a great game. I think the Rams can beat anybody in the NFC right now, including San Francisco.
Hey, Baldy, and I know there's a lot of circumstances that go into this, but has yours, might sound like a dumb question, but has your opinion changed a little modification on the ultimate greatness of Mahomes, or is that still exactly where it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
Well, I mean, when you throw it to guys, you hope that they can catch it.
Tony,
so,
others,
I mean, his greatness is still great.
Yep.
And his ability to rescue plays and see the field, I mean, none of that has waned. The arm is still magical. But, you can only like suffer through so many drop passes. And some of them are like game-changing type passes, And so I think he's still great, and I think they could morph into a power running football team like they did Sunday against Cincinnati, and they could be dangerous because defensively and the kicking game is as good as there is. And so, but if you're just going to go out there and throw incompletions on third downs because guys can't get open and can't catch the ball, whatever, like they're going to struggle and they're going to turn the ball over like they had for a lot of the part of the season.
Yep. I just mentioned Mahomes. You mentioned Lamar earlier. He's got to be on this list. Otherwise, you're out of your mind, and I know you're not that out of your mind here. Top 3 quarterbacks this year, in your opinion, where the tape matches the stats. Who are they?
Well, it's Lamar. It's Purdy. And then you can, just juggle them around Stafford's playing great right now. Josh Allen has just won 4 in a row, might be 5. Tua has had great moments. But I think 1 and 2 right now, it's Lamar and Brock Purdy.
Who do you think, Baldy, BT and Sal on the Fan Talk with Brian Baldinger? It is amazing. Who do you think, I said this before, if Lamar Jackson stays healthy, I can't see anybody beating the Ravens. Who do you think outside of the Ravens in the AFC has the best shot to get to a Super Bowl?
I think right now you have to, just because Kansas City, because defensively they can defend. They've got a coach that knows how to, win games and how to game plan in the postseason. I think Kansas City could still be a team that you have to consider, although offensively they don't have near the firepower that we're used to seeing right now. And then, look, if Miami ever gets fully healthy, if you get Waddle and Mostert and Tyreek and Achane, you get them all healthy in the postseason, they can still put up 30 or 40 on you on any given Sunday.
All right, man. Listen, it's good to have you on. Just getting to know each other a little bit here. I know you will join us once a week through the Super Bowl, early February. Good debut, Baldy. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll get you next week.
I look forward to it, guys. Take care, man.
Thanks,
Baldy.
Baldy.
There you go.
That was awesome.
I'll tell you, what he said about Salah was interesting.